Ancient history, thought was one of the six senses. Six senses. We used to just use it as a tool of survival, the same way we use smell or taste. It's just a tool for survival, and somewhere throughout history, we got to thinking that we're just the ultimate being, and we can think our way out of everything, and we can't. This is what's causing a lot of the suffering that I see going on in the world today. So I want to talk about a quote that Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, made back in 2010. He said that every 2 days now, we create as much data as existed from the dawn of civilization in 2003. We create as much data every 2 days now as existed from the dawn of civilization until 2003. He said this back in 2010, and this quote is famous in tech circles, and because it kind of shows what's gone wrong with the world these days. First of all, endless thoughts and certain thoughts are suffering. People have an immense amount of suffering because of their thoughts. And when you think about it, what does all this data do for us? Well, if we're able to use thought as one of our senses, one of our six senses, let's say, the normal thought process would keep you out of danger. Oh, that looks dangerous, let's go the other way. Or I don't desire that, so I don't pursue it. Something like that. What we do as humans is we try to solve everything by thought. There's laws of the universe. That which you resist persists. Everybody wants to take up a social cause and just endlessly debate it. This is the cause of a lot of the human suffering that's going on right now. And the great Buddha was all about eliminating suffering, and that's why every statue you see of him, he's meditating. He's getting that inner stillness, that inner peace. If you're unable to create that inner peace within yourself, thoughts will take over, and your endless thoughts take up so much of your energy and are responsible for so much of your suffering. I don't even think you realize it. When was the last time you had your toes in the sand or toes in the grass and you listened to the birds chirping? Instead, everybody's scrolling through their phones, just taking in endless amounts of information. Why do you think you can't get to sleep after you start scrolling through your phone? So what I try to do is create that inner stillness through meditation. And I just try not to get involved in all of the thought processes that society wants me to get involved in. How many times do you go to work and you've always got that one person that creates drama, and they have to get their fix, so they come in, and start a day off with the problem of the day. Everybody must react, and everybody must solve this problem. Otherwise, we're not going to have a good day. It just shouldn't work that way. How about I know of companies where somebody has an over emotional response to something. They call human resources, and the two ladies, over empathic ladies in the human resources department, treat it like a nuclear bomb went off, and we have to give all this thought and all this attention to this person's emotion. And really, we don't. We don't have to give it any thought. We don't have to give it any energy. And once you learn to live that way, it's, to me, it's the end of suffering. Once you've raised your vibration to the point where you don't care anymore what anybody says about you, you don't care anymore what anybody thinks of you. You don't care when people come in and out of your life. You know, we always try to create permanence and, oh my God, it was a friend. I can't lose a friend. I gotta keep piling on more friends. Um, we create suffering this way. And it's through these endless thought processes that all of this data on our planet now forces us to confront. We don't have to learn everything that people say we have to learn. We don't have to give energy to any thought or emotion that someone else has. That's theirs. The amount of data that's out there will scramble your brain, man. Eric Schmidt made that quote back in 2010. We create 5 exabytes of data every 2 days. Well, guess what? It's 2026 now. We create 5 exabytes of data every 15 minutes now. We're to the point where we need, look at all the data centers going up all over the country. Like I say, we're to the point where we need a 40,000 acre data center. Have you read this report? How much data do we need? It's being driven by, AI and all these cloud and, smartphones and endless streaming of videos that, none of us can even agree on in the first place. You show a video to, 100 people, 50 people say, this is what happened, and 50 people say, this is what happened. So nobody can agree on anything anyway. So why create it? Why even put it out there? That calm inner stillness that you can achieve through meditation and through proper grounding is incredible. And if you think that you're going to ingest all of this information that's out there, you're not. You're just going to overwhelm yourself. You're going to overwhelm your mind, and you're going to overwhelm your central nervous system. So stop buying into society and what they say you need to know, and what the next viral video says you need to pay attention to, and what the next political person says is the next problem that's right around the corner. Well, these people just create this with endless thoughts, man. I say we go back to the days when we consider thought to be one of the senses. You wouldn't navigate your way around the world by tasting everything. You certainly wouldn't navigate your way around the world by smelling everything. So you can't think your way in and out of everything in this world. Even when you do, and you know you're right, there's people who disagree and say it's wrong. So who's right? Nobody, probably. So, yeah, I suggest meditation, and I suggest a little bit more inner work, inner calmness, grounding. Go to the beach without your devices. Go take a walk in nature without your devices. One of the most calming things in the world is walking your dog. And it's the thing the dog looks forward to the most in this world. But guess what? Nobody's in the moment, man. You're not walking the dog, paying attention to nature, paying attention to the dog. You're scrolling through your phone, or you're calling your friend and talking about drama at work and things like that. All of these endless things just take up so much space in your head, and they're the cause of your suffering. And you don't have to suffer. Good luck.